Ta-da! And back at you with another video. And welcome to this 2026 edition of Stop the Capping. I'm your host, Ahmad. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some things that we need to talk about. We have a serious mental health crisis here in the United States. We truly do. We truly have some sick individuals, mentally sick individuals that are in need of some serious psychiatric, or should I say, we need more psychologists, more sociologists, we need more social workers moving forward here in the United States. We have people here that are seriously walking around here with some serious mental issues, and they're not talking to the right people to get it solved. So I want to share a story that happened to me today on the train. Now, here in the city of Chicago, we have an excellent transit system. You can pretty much go anywhere north, south, east, and west on our transit system here in the city of Chicago. So, being how we have one of the best transit systems in the United States next to New York, I would think, there comes with serious issues while traveling on our transit system. You need to be careful. You need to be vigilant. You need to be mindful of your surroundings when taking the CTA. The violence on our CTA system has increased it almost tenfold. People getting robbed. We have people that got murdered, stabbed. People got pushed into trains, pushed off the train deck. And these incidents seems to happen at various times throughout the day, evening, night, early morning. So if you're taking the transit system here in the city of Chicago, you just need to be vigilant. Some transit areas are more dangerous than others. Once again, some transit areas in Chicago are more prevalent to danger, and you need to be careful because we have all types of individuals riding these trains. You got the homeless, got the mentally challenged. Now you think of a person that's homeless, how do they get on the train? If you homeless, how did you make it on the platform when you gotta pay? Which means that they need more attendants, and the attendants need to be vigilant on who's paying and who's not paying, and who's just climbing over the turnstile when the attendant's not paying attention. But with these incidents happening left, right, and center, you would think they would put more attendants and have not only the security, because sometimes the security is there, but they're not even paying attention. They all huddled all together. You got 8 officers all standing in the same spot. And you got a north and south end, east and west end entrance of the train platform, but you got all your officers concentrated on just standing in one area, all sitting around talking to each other. They don't know what's behind them. They don't know what's to the right or left of them. They can only basically see what's in front of them. And most of the time, they're talking with each other and not even paying attention to what's going on. They're not even paying attention to what's going on. They all just congregating in one area, just standing around talking. Once again, people are not doing what they're hired to do. And then people that's in charge are not enforcing the rules and regulations like they're supposed to. But anyway, back to the story at hand. So I'm on the train. Now, each stop that you come to, the train will call out your stop, and it also let you know that the next stop is heading to. So my train that I'm on, which is called the Red Line, it goes from 95th Street all the way to Howard. Howard is like way up north. You're going past Roger Park and all that areas. It's taking you all the way to the end. So Howard is the end, and you have to transfer it to go further. but I'm getting off at Roosevelt. So the train lets me know that, hey, the Roosevelt is the next stop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if people are not getting on and getting off, that conductor who's operating that train, if he doesn't see anyone coming off or getting on, you only got so much, a few seconds, not minutes. You have a few seconds before that voice announces door closing. And once that door is closing, that conductor, he's moving. So, I'm on the train. My stop is being called. Next stop, Roosevelt. So the train proceeds to my stop. The particular train that I'm on, I'm standing there. I'm ready to get off. But a young lady, short, heavyset, the door opens up. She puts one foot out to step on the platform and one foot on the train. She's looking around, but she's not getting off. No one's coming on the particular train that I'm on. I'm the only one exiting off. So I say to the young lady who has her back turned, who's only focusing on what's going on the platform, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. So 3 times I'm telling this lady, excuse me. I have my gym bag and I have my scooter, which is portable. You can carry it, you can fold it down and carry it with you. So I have it in my hand. So after my 3rd time saying excuse me to the young lady, because I know in a few seconds that door is about to close, even though she's standing one door in, one door, even though she's standing with one foot on the platform and one foot on the train, she's not getting off, and she's just standing there being nosy, trying to see what's going on the platform. So I tap her on her arm. Excuse me. She turns around and said, listen here, motherfucker. Don't be touching me. You can say excuse me. I was like, ma'am, I said excuse you 3 times. And you didn't listen. Everybody on this train heard me but you. But you ain't gotta touch me, motherfucker. Well, ma'am, what am I supposed to do when I say excuse me and you don't move out the way? You think the door's gonna stay open forever? I need to get off. And why are you standing in the doorway anyway if you're not getting off? So I just go around her. I'm now on the platform, but we arguing back and forth. She's still on the train with the door opening, standing like I said, 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Nobody's getting on the train. So the cop here, there's 2 officers about maybe 5 feet away. They hear the argument going on. And I'm walking away, but I'm saying, man, I told you 3 times. Excuse me. And then she's yelling back, motherfucker, you ain't got to touch me. So the officers start walking towards the young lady because they hear her shouting. But before the officers could get to her, the lady's gentleman friend or boyfriend grabs her and pulls her into the train. And the door closes. And then the train proceeds to move forward. And I'm like, we got people out here with some serious mental issues. I didn't told that. So I'm talking to the officer now. I didn't told this lady 3 times, excuse me. And she wants to stand in the middle of the doorway and then gets mad when I touch her to say, excuse me. And so the officer was like, yeah, because they heard her yelling and screaming. I'm like, nah, she wants to scream and holler, don't touch me, motherfucker. See, it's women like that causes issues and concern. Now, if I had been one of these nutty head thug type guys, they would have pushed their ass off the damn train. They would have called her all kind of bitches and hoes. They would have pushed their ass off the train or slapped the crap out of her. Her boyfriend or whoever the gentleman was would have probably got beat up. They probably both would have got beat up. But see, these are the things where I say we have a serious mental health problem here in the United States. I don't know how other cities and citizens are behaving in other cities, but I know here in the city of Chicago, we have a lot of young men and women walking around here that need to be sitting down with a psychologist. They need to be sit down with a trained psychologist and to get rid of all the anger that's inside. Because too many of these young people between the age of 18 and 30 are harboring too much anger within them. There is too much discontent, anger And why? How can you be 17, 16, 15 having so much anger built up inside? Where's it coming from? Why are all these young people harboring, holding so much anger inside of them? And where's all this anger coming from? Is the breakdown of the family dynamic that so prevalent that there are so many issues within the home that the kid is now has no way to release that energy but to strangers on the street? So they can't release the anger and the madness in home. So they wait till they get outside on the street and they put all the anger and anxiety on strangers that they don't even know, instead of looking at the real cause and effect of why they're holding so much anger, so much bitterness. I have never seen so many angry, bitter, hateful young people in my life. I do not know where all this anger, bitterness, and hatefulness in the African American community. I can't speak about other races because I don't see it being behaved by other races. But I do see it being behaved by our African American youth. And it makes me think and wonder, where is all this anger, frustration is coming from? Why do our youth have so much hatred, discontent inside of them? And where's it coming from? How you 14, 15 years old got so much anger and discontent in your heart? Where is all this anger and discontent coming from? Is the family dynamic that distraught, that disarray in the homes, that these kids are leaving home with so much anger, so much hateful and discontent, that they're now projecting it to the world? And where's it coming from? I've never seen so many angry young women and young men in my life. And I know it's only a 1% that are suffering from this, but those 1% are causing major problems within society. They're the ones that's doing the muggings, and the ones joining the gang, and the ones doing the armed robbery and the stick-ups. But where is all this coming from? And what is society doing to identify these problems and bring these young men and women help? Because there is a serious mental health issue here in the city of Chicago. I have never seen so many young men and women with so much anger within them. They're not paying rent. They're not taking care of anyone, but they have so much anger and discontent. They're angry about this. This upsets them. This makes them angry. They hate this. They don't like this. Where is all this anger, discontent, and hate coming from? Why are our youth in so much of a disarray? And it's not all of them. We have a 1%. But that 1% is terrorizing our community, our workforce, our schools. Those 1% are out there doing some of the most heinous crimes known to man. And it's just a 1% group. But every time I pick up my phone, there's always something going on. A stabbing, an armed robbery, a shooting, a carjacking. Where is all this violence coming from? This is 2026, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 2 of 2026. There have been more than 30 crimes committed. More than 30 committed in 2026. And this is just day 2. And day 2 ain't even over yet. It's about 9:30, almost 10 o'clock here in Illinois. And there's more than 30 crimes that's already been committed. 30 in the books. I'm talking mugging, shooting, domestic violence, stabbing, armed robbery, carjacking, stolen cars. And this is just day 2. And no one's really addressing the issues. Now wait till election comes around. First thing people are going to be talking about is crime, 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 crime. Once they get elected, crime still goes on and nothing's being done. And where are the parents? Where are the mothers and fathers of these young men and women who are out here perpetrating all this violence on society? Where are they at? Why are they not being held accountable for the conduct and actions and behavior of that child? That child is going home to sleep somewhere. I don't see a bunch of 18, 15, 16, 19, 20, 25, 26-year-olds sleeping on the streets. I don't see a feather of teenagers sleeping on the streets. But we see a feather of criminal activity being done by teenagers between the age of 16 and 30. And it's a huge lot between 16 and 20. Where are these individuals sleeping when they're not committing crime? Whether you're in a single home, a mother and father home, why aren't your whereabouts being held? Why aren't your whereabouts being accountable for to that parent? Be you your mother and father, or just your mother, or just your father? But we have a serious mental health problem here in the city of Chicago, Illinois. We need more counselors, more psychiatrists to sit down with these young men and women and find out where all this anger that's built up is coming from. And why there's a need for violence, extreme violence, to solve the problem and the issues. It's not only fight, it has to be gunplay, knife play. Everything has to go to the tent, to the next level. And this is just day 2. This is day 2 of 2026. And we got 30 crimes that have already been committed, already on the books. 30 already. Covering all spectrum: domestic violence, stabbings, armed robbery, car chasing, carjacking. And it's just day 2. And I just told you an incident that happened to me on the transit just earlier today. Young lady called me a motherfucker when I asked her 3 times, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Everybody else on the train heard it because they're thinking, Why is this? They're thinking like I'm thinking. Why is this woman ignoring me, or why is this woman being an asshole? It's just unbelievable how our society has changed over the years. There is no moral values and ethics in this country. I think our moral values, principles, discipline has gone completely out the window. I'm not sure what they're teaching in our elementary school, in our junior high schools, in our high schools, but we need to get back to the basics of making better human beings. We need to get back to the basics of creating better human beings. Because if this is the way society is going to keep going, we're in a world of trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be in a world of trouble. If our youth and our society keep going the way it's going, we're going to be in trouble. And we're not going to be young forever, ladies and gentlemen. And when we get older ourselves, just like me, those are the young men and women that we're going to have to deal with. If they're being assholes right now at 15 and 16, what do you think is going to happen 20 years from now when you're 60 and they're 26, they're 36? You think they're just going to overnight turn out to be decent human beings? Absolutely not. If these young men and women don't get someone who can sit down and help them address their issues and concerns and problems, we're going to have a bunch of human beings walking around here with some serious issues. And the only way they're going to know how to solve those issues is through violence. So we need to start sitting around and trying to find solutions on how to fix this, because it is a serious problem, and it's definitely a serious problem here in the city of Chicago. So, if you're watching the video, if you have some comments and some issues, concerns, or some stories that you want to bring forth, please put a comment down there. Put your own story or something that they may have happened to you, or something that you have seen, or something that caught your concern or caught your eye that made you think, what is going on with these young people? Let others hear your stories, your testimonies. You never know whose life you could touch, whose story you can make aware of, that can make somebody say, yeah, it happened to me. Yeah, we can change this. This is how we can change this. So please leave your comments, your likes and concerns in the comment section. It's always open. So with that being said, y'all maintain your flow, and let's try to make 2026 better than 2025. Because right now, day 2 is not looking too good, ladies and gentlemen. Day 2 is not looking too good. We must do better. We must do better as a nation, as a country. Because we're not going to be here forever, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to be here forever. That is a guarantee. You can take it to the bank. You're not going to walk this earth forever. So while we're here, let's try to be positive to one another. Because we're not going to be here forever. So with that being said, thank you for joining this edition of Stop with the Cap. I'm your host, Ahmad, and I'll see you on the next episode of Stop the Cap. Until then, maintain your flow, keep your head above the waters, and put money in my pocket. Peace, I love you. Goodbye.